Please state your name for the court.
Finley Abara, Abara.
And are you currently employed, Mr. Abara? Ms. Abara?
Yes, I'm currently the acting director of the Buckeye Restaurant Association, or the BRA.
And how long have you been the director of said association?
I assumed the role in 2010, so 11 years, almost 12 now.
And could you tell us about any prior education you have?
Sure, I attended Cornell University with a scholarship for a food industry management program. That's where I obtained my bachelor's degree in 1979. Cornell is the leading source of applied and academic research focusing on high priority issues facing the food industry with the goal of improving food system efficiency and performance. I would like to get my master's, but with little time on my hands, that seems almost impossible.
So you attended an Ivy League school. What kind of experience did you get after college?
Well, after college, I ended up buying a chain restaurant in a mall, a JoJo's sub shop, which sadly failed after about a year, but I thank this failure to lead me into my next success.
And so why would you blame your success on the closure of a chain restaurant?
Well, after the shop closed down at the cusp of the 80s, I moved into selling life insurance and found a good job there. I got an insurance license and found a stable job with an independent insurance company just outside of Harmony.
How did you do at the agency?
From there, I moved to selling insurance to the restaurants of Harmony. That is where I thrived since I understood what the risks involved in the restaurant industry were. I was able to create my own niche and was able to grow through the ranks and owned the insurance agency within 10 years where I learned a lot.
So after becoming the agency's owner, what ended up furthering your experience and knowledge of the industry?
Well, after that, I continued to grow my company. We now help some of the biggest names in the restaurant industry, and I expanded throughout Buckeye and continue to help our members.
Could you elaborate more on how you helped your agency's members?
Well, a couple of the things we did was to develop a checklist for our members. It included various things, but most importantly, it covered health and safety. We also programmed an app to help our members as well. Both of these things I worked on personally.
And then how did you end up as the director of the BRA?
People heard of my success. I had requests to give lectures on restaurant risk management at businesses, and even Cornell on multiple occasions. All of my previous experience has led me to be able to talk about these topics very easily and effectively. During 2008, when the economic depression hit, it hit the food industry very hard. And so when my success and experience of growing my agency, the Buckeye Restaurant Association hired me as the director in 2010.
So did the transition affect you very much?
Not at all. I stopped doing the day-to-day at the agency and moved to growing the BRA. When I first started, we had 183 members, and now we have over 2,000 members to date. I now continue to strive to grow and give our members the best support possible, working on employee certification and training programs, and unifying the restaurant and food service industry's voice.
Your Honor, at this time, I would like to recognize that Ms. Abara is an expert in the field of restaurant management and finance. They clearly have the knowledge and experience of what it takes to understand how to run a successful restaurant, coupled with the fact that she has 41 years of experience, clearly growing anywhere she has worked and has given multiple lectures on the topic of management. Ms. Abara, can you please tell us why you are here today?
I'm here because Hollis Fitzpatrick is a member of the BRA, and I can speak today on how much these closures and reopening procedures affected their restaurant, as well as the entire food service industry of Buckeye.
And could you please tell us what your association did to help the restaurant industry of Buckeye to reopen?
Well, the first thing we did was our association did to develop the best practices for food stores and restaurants and food pickup/delivery services.
Could you tell us more about that, please?
It was a list of ways that restaurants could make changes to the way seats were arranged or finding the best way to do carryout options, general things to support the members when the reopening started.
And then, how did you decide to help Fitzpatrick, especially with the reopening process?
They've always been friends for a long time, and my first job actually started there as a busser. I wanted to help him because of my personal ties, but as well as the fact that I knew they had such a small shop and that it would be difficult for them to reopen with the new restrictions in place.
And since you decided to help the Fitzpatricks, could you elaborate on what exactly you did to help, please?
Yes. I took the time to map out the floor plan with them and try to find the safest way to reopen, and the one that would turn the most profit.
At this time, I would like to introduce Exhibit D to the court. Let the record reflect that I am showing the opposing counsel a clean and unmarked copy of Exhibit D. Your Honors, would you like a copy? May I approach the bench? May I approach the witness? Would you happen to know what this document is?
Yes, I do. That is the floor plan to Fitzpatrick's with the allotted new seating restrictions in place. marking in X's which seating areas are not available for guests.
And could you tell the court what Fitzpatrick did to adjust the state's restrictions?
The current floor plan shows how many of the tables and stools are closed off to seating and why Hollis could never find a way to make money off of such a small dining area.
And can you please tell us how much the restrictions in seating affected Fitzpatrick's?
I can confidently say that the new mandated seating arrangements at Fitzpatrick's, who I worked with personally, as well as we are longtime friends, was going to cause them to lose a lot of profit, and it did. They did not have any space to expand to allow more people in, and creative ways also did not let on to any ideas to accommodate for the 6-foot spacing mandate.
Was there anything else that could have affected Hollis's business?
Yes, probably the biggest thing was the 6 p.m. closure. This forced them to close down before the dinner rush, which is usually a restaurant's busiest time, normally accommodating for about 2/3 of a business's profit.
And since both of these things stacked together, in your expert opinion, did Fitzpatrick stand a chance of staying open?
Honestly, no. They had so many things weighing on them, from being closed down for months due to the stay-at-home order. They were already barely skimming by. The time restrictions put in place by the state took away so much of that money, as well as the state's new seating requirements. The Fitzpatrick Diner was set up to reopen to failure.
And in your expert opinion, do you think there was any reasonable way for Hollis to open their doors and expect to make any money?
No, I do not. The restrictions that were put in place on all of Buckeye were so drastic that many businesses like Fitzpatrick's that were barely making it by as is could not reach an investment-backed expectation of any financial gain.
Thank you. I have no further questions at this time.